Make sure your parking brake's off.
Chevy Tracker, like a rock.
So, Watson, the game is afoot.
No matter how shocking the crime scene.
3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a skeleton.
No matter how twisted the criminal.
Somebody left a message.
This guy's good. Exceptional.
One thing remains.
There is always a clue.
CSI Crime Scene Investigation is more than the Golden Globe nominee for Best Drama.
You can run, but you can't hide.
For millions, it's become an addiction.
Who are you?
Get hooked on CSI, CBS Friday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Phillips, technology that's making life a little better all the time. And by Saturn, now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and S Series.
69,638 anew Baltimore Ravens attendance record here today. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Broncos. Mike Anderson for a couple out to the 22-yard line, a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Let's go down to Armin Katane. Armin.
Greg, just moments ago, the Ravens training staff took Kim Herring off the field. He was being carried off. He's in the locker room right now for x-rays to his lower left leg area, the fibula area. I'll give you an update as soon as I've got it.
Thanks, Armin. Broncos offense was very, very good on that one scoring drive, and they've been totally helpless on the others. Anderson tries the left side, trying to turn the corner, and look who runs him down. One thing that every Bronco told us about Ray Lewis, he can go from side to side on this football field as well as anyone.
Well, he can, and one of the reasons why he could do it, Greg, we said it, I have yet to see an offensive lineman get up the field and put any type of their body on Ray Lewis. And Chris McAllister, number 21, also gets into the tackle. But again, that time, because of the big defensive lineman inside, you can't get past them to get to Ray Lewis.
5 wide receivers on 3rd and 7. Quick pass, almost picked off, caught by McCaffrey, and he has enough for the 1st down, but I believe the Ravens thought they had themselves an interception and a touchdown.
Well, you almost said it right. Corey Harris, number 45, he sees the play, diagnoses it, and he goes for the interception, and he thought he was going to get it. But Ed McCaffrey, boy, football thrown behind him just a little bit. A blitz by the Ravens defense. They are trying to force the issue. A turnover could be the end of the game.
Corey Harris couldn't believe he didn't come up with the ball. 1st down. Anderson. Yardage hard to come by on the ground now. That's a pickup of 1, and it's 2nd and 9. Here's a young man who said as the season wore on, it was a roller coaster for him at the beginning, but as he got to understand more of what the NFL was like and what the offensive machinery was like in Denver, things got a little better for him.
Well, Mike Shanahan said from 6 weeks ago to now, it is night and day. He is such a better player, and when you're watching, it looks like he's actually gotten faster over that period of time.
Anderson corralled in the backfield. Rod Woodson, number 26, on his way to his 9th Pro Bowl, in the backfield with Anderson for the tackle.
Well, Rod Woodson comes from the outside. Nobody blocks him. Safety. He's done this so many times. He did it for many years in Pittsburgh. He used to be a corner, has made the switch to safety. And he's done it so well, like you said, Greg, going to the Pro Bowl.
The Denver Broncos, 5 rushes this half for 0 yardage, and Gus Frerotte has to call a timeout. Denver burns its 1st timeout here in the 2nd half, and it stops the clock with 9:41 to play in the 3rd quarter. We remind you, Saturday, the drive to the Super Bowl continues here on CBS with the AFC divisional playoffs. After their overtime victory, the Miami Dolphins head to Oakland to take on the AFC West champion Raiders. Phil Armin and I will be there. We ask you to check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today.
You know, Greg, you were talking about Rod Woodson, and I even said to Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, why don't more of these corners like he was go to safety late in their career and, you know, get about 3 extra years? And he goes, hey, the only guys that can do it that are guys that love football and paying attention to everything when they're playing corner, and Rod Woodson was one of those type of guys.
3rd and 9. Farrat throws behind Rod Smith, his intended receiver. And the punting unit will come on. Smith started outside, cut back to the inside. Farrat's pass was behind him.
Well, he was open, but I think Gus Farrat's just being careful. So he threw it a little low and behind Rod Smith.
It was interesting talking to Brian Billick, wasn't it? He said he feels the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl out of the AFC.
Brian Billick is not afraid to say whatever comes to his mind.
No, he isn't. Look at that kick. That one goes nowhere and then takes a Baltimore bounce back into Denver territory. That is a 16-yard punt once again. Great field position for the Ravens.
After over 10 years, we still have a no-hassle, no-haggle pricing policy at Saturn. We don't yell offers from the highest tree. We don't play games. And we don't have promotions every other week. But that doesn't mean we don't compete.
Lease a 2001 Saturn SL1 for $199 a month for 39 months with 0 due at lease signing. Call for lease details.
Working for a big company was not for me, so I took a risk and started Mad River Boat Trips. Fortunately, I made some smart decisions early on, like hooking up with a small business group at American Express. These guys really know what we need. They helped us figure out easier ways to pay for inventory. And now when we buy things online with the card, it's never been safer. You know, I couldn't work for a big company, but I don't mind having a big company work for me.
What can we do for your business? Call 1-800-SUCCESS.
Remember Jared from Subway? He's inspired a lot of people.
He's still looking good. He leads the rest to 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less.
Subway, eat fresh.
Year ago, I'm bumming. I'm seeing hair here and hair there, so I started using Rogaine.
Rogaine is clinically proven to help stop hair loss.
Look, nothing here, nothing here. It's all here.
Rogaine, stronger than heredity.
Players! It's the game of football talking. It's December, a.k.a. playoff time. So you better get out there now and show me something.
You're watching CBS Sports, home of the Masters. This high-definition simulcast of the AFC wildcard game is brought to you by RCA, changing entertainment again.
Another look from up above on PSI Net Stadium, and Gus Farrat trying to figure out what he and the Broncos can do against this Baltimore defense, which starts in Denver territory. They've been in Denver territory on 5 of the 8 drives the Ravens have. This is Jamal Lewis. And he picks up about 2 on the play. Whistle blows the play dead at the 47, and let's go down to Armin.
You know, Greg, Brian Billick has this great reputation as an offensive hotshot, and we were talking to him about it, and we said, you know, do you like this grinded-out offense that you got? He goes, no, I hate it. He turned around and he pulled a book off his shelf, and it was a Knute Rockne coaching book dated 1927. He said, if there's one thing in this book, it says, if you're going to be good on something, be good on offense, because if you're good on defense, if you get down by 17, you got some problems.
Arvin, thank you. 2nd and 8. Stilford, deep drop, the screen. Lewis turns it upfield. 40, 35, first down, Baltimore.
Well, that's a nice play call by Brian Billick. Play it concerted. The only way that I think the Broncos can get back in this game and win it if the Baltimore Ravens offense turns it over. And screen plays, they're safe. Quarterback's not going to throw interceptions, and Jamal Lewis, you can see, extremely hard to bring down with the arms once he gets going down the field.
Yeah, there are a few warning clouds on the horizon for the Denver Broncos right now.
And you know, the other thing, just to go about Armin Katan's report, I'd like to ask Brian Billick his opinion of that philosophy right now in the Northeast, cold, windy. You better have a good defense and run the football.
Lewis. Broncos say they have the football. The officials say no. That the play has been blown dead. Loss of 2 on the play. Let me get 2nd and 12.
I heard it being blown dead after the football was already free. But I think the Broncos defense, let's see if the ball did come out. Jamal Lewis got his arms around it. Well, I don't know. Well, couldn't tell from that. It's not going to matter.
Play clock to 3, to 2, to 1, and that's too late. Trent Dilfer didn't keep an eye on the play clock and suffers the 5-yard delay of game.
Well, what happened is Trent Dilfer comes up the line of scrimmage, and he sees there is nobody outside except Patrick Johnson and Terrell Buckley. Look up here. Look at the safeties. Nobody over here, and he was going to change the play to try to throw the football down the field, but the clock ran out on him.
So now he looks at a 2nd and 17. Clock comes up on 7 minutes to play in the 3rd. Play fake. Rolling, throwing. That's complete to Sam Gash out of the backfield inside the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, Sam Gash been a blocking fullback in his career, New England, Buffalo, and coming down here. The one thing, though, even though he's a blocking fullback, does have good hands and catches the ball out in the flat and serves a very good purpose for the offense.
1 year ago, the team captain on the Phil Simms All-Iron team.
That's right. Blocking fullback. An extraordinary blocking fullback. Doesn't see a lot of time down here with the Ravens, though.
Priest Holmes in the backfield. Dilfer crushed in the backfield and goes down at the 42-yard line. Billy Jenkins on the blitz.
The one thing, you're the quarterback. You got to know you're playing against a desperate defense. And Billy Spencer, Trent Dilfer should have seen this. Watch coming from his right. He just came up from the secondary, lined up. Nobody's there to pick him up. And that could have been a big turnover for the Broncos defense, but Baltimore recovers.
So once again, Kyle Richardson will try to pin the Broncos inside their 20-yard line. There is Deltha O'Neal at his own 10. High kick, bounces inside the 20, rolls toward the goal line, and Richardson has done it again. Terrific special teams play for the Baltimore Ravens has the Broncos starting in a hole. Meanwhile, free shot on the Ravens quarterback. We'll be right back.
Where you going? Where you going? Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, I got you. Now, this is how the glove do it. Give me my ball back. Well, then take your ball in. Yeah, the glove. Did you see it? Me, mostly me. This is my domain. The glove. Hey, hold on, man. You ain't gonna be disrespecting me like that. When I ain't looking, huh? Oh, boy, that's something else.
Oh, yeah, that's a first down. Way to read the D. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't get enough football? Grab a Miller Lite, and anytime is Miller time.
Who's calling these plays? Put in a backup!
As you can see, the DNA sweeps through the cell after meiosis. This ensures proper disposal of...
Can't get enough football? Grab a Miller Lite, and anytime is Miller time.
Proper dispersal of the genetic code.
Night.
Provides no ambient illumination.
It's scary.
Yet objects give off energy in the form of heat.
It would be amazing if you could see what's out there.
DeVille DTS thermal detection system with the head-up display projects images of the road ahead.
Beyond the range of your headlamps.
The DeVille DTS, the world's first car available with night vision. The power of and, the fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by NASDAQ.com. Everything about everything for serious investors. And by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Watch the hit Trent Dilfer takes. Billy Jenkins, number 32, comes in. Wow. Trent Dilfer just got up, walked to the sidelines.
Starting from deep in their own territory. Anderson. Not much there. Just out over the 5-yard line. A pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
You know, besides, there's Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator. Besides the very first play of the game when Gus Frerotte faked the run and rolled the other way and threw it out in the flat, I have not seen that from the Broncos offense. And usually you see that about 5 or 6 times a game.
42 yards rushing today, far off of what they usually post. Frerotte throws complete. Dwayne Carswell makes the catch and is driven out of bounds a couple of yards shy of first down.
Well, if you're the quarterback and you're playing against this Baltimore Ravens defense, when you drop back, it must look like there's about 13 defenders over there. But that time, Gus Frerotte had the time and made a nice throw.
Boy, Tony Siragusa looked like he got a good jump off the snap and was bull rushing some people toward the quarterback. Quick release by Frerotte. Broncos now facing a 3rd and 2. Throws this side, batted, incomplete. Sam Adams with a hand in the face.
Well, Sam Adams, what he does, and if you watch the 2 interior defensive linemen for the Ravens, what they do, they don't even rush the quarterback. Watch Sam Adams. He's just going to occupy, watch him, jumps up and knocks the football down. Now, Ed McCaffrey going down the field, working against Dwayne Starks, wide open. He knows it. But Sam Adams doing a good job inside.
Second block pass by Sam Adams today. Ruin kicks. Lewis from the 45. Up the sideline and out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Jermaine Lewis, the NFL's leader in punt return average this season, 16.1 a game, returned 2 for touchdowns, and has given Baltimore great field position once again.
Well, watch as he goes around. I thought there was a clip in the back, as you're going to see. Well, let's see if we see it right there. Looked like a block from behind, but it's the playoffs.
Well, what does that mean? A block in the back is not a block in the back?
You just got to play hard. That's what it means.
32-yard punt, 17-yard return, first down for Baltimore. Jamal Lewis knocked down at the 27-yard line by Billy Jenkins. And Jamal Lewis came into this game with 5 100-yard games this season. And is he a possible Rookie of the Year? Well, these are the 2 best rookie running backs in the NFL this season. Nice numbers, nice threads. A look at the numbers of the 2 running backs today. 2nd and 8. Lewis again. Puts his head down, bounces off someone, breaks free, and goes for the touchdown. 27 yards.
Watch Jamal Lewis. Burns in the hole. He can make the tackle. They just can't. Al Wilson couldn't make the tackle. He's so big and so strong that you've got to wrap your arms somewhere around those legs. Nobody does it, and he scores the touchdown.
The extra point by Stover is good. Jamal Lewis, 5'11", 231 yards, and Trent Dilfer celebrates way back upfield. Baltimore's in control right now.
They mastered the biology of the immune system and pioneered a revolutionary way to treat disease. By modulating the body's processes, Immunex is meeting some of the great medical challenges of our time. A world leader in biotechnology, Immunex stays at the forefront through a major research and development commitment. Where do you find the companies that are creating the future of medicine? Exactly. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
Obviously, this is top secret, or we wouldn't be here. Total news blackout. Till next week, this meeting never happened.
This is go, no-go, folks.
Our product line's mesh. Go.
Total marketing synergy. Go.
Our growth, your cash flow?
Go.
Finance is in.
The street will love it.
The press will eat it up. No SEC issues.
No culture clashes.
I don't see any problems in Europe.
There's always problems in Europe.
We'll fix it.
If we do this deal, we'll have 8 server farms, 10 extranets, 20 intranets, and 10 different platforms, plus the wireless project.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
And that's when it hits you. You are so ready for IBM.
More cappuccinos for the top secret meeting.
When you're running from the law, the last thing you need
Whatever happened in your life, that's your business.
are complications.
She's going with me.
Especially when it involves a woman
Think Netta Beaumont's in love with you?
and a cop obsessed with her.
We need to have a heart-to-heart.
I don't have time for this.
You and me are going!
All new Fugitive, CBS Friday.
Longtime National Football League owner Art Modell 5 years ago moved the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore and they became the Ravens. This is their first playoff game and it looks like he's having a good time. Mr. Modell, you are on.
Yeah, it's an exciting moment, Greg. We saw him at practice Friday. He was so happy about the team, the way they have performed all year long. And, hey, the Baltimore Ravens, you talk to them, whoever wins this game, they thought was going to the Super Bowl.
From the 5, O'Neal. Can't find running room and is smacked down. Let's go back to the touchdown. And Jamal Lewis runs into his old college roommate and wins this battle.
Yeah, he does. Right in the hole, you're going to see Jamal Lewis, number 56, Al Wilson. And you just can't get low enough sometimes to bring the ball carrier down. And no matter how many games you watch in the NFL, it usually comes down to the team that's bigger, stronger, and tougher is going to win it. And that's what we're seeing so far today. Baltimore just more physical, and that's why they're winning 21-3.
First down for the Broncos. Farrat over the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted at the feet of Peter Boulware. I was about to ask you, Phil, this has got to change offensive philosophy now for Mike Shanahan.
Well, it does, Greg. They got to force the issue a little. They can't waste time. And you see Peter Boulware, he's going to go to try to make the tackle. Didn't realize the football was coming right at him.
Gus Farrat just 2 out of 7 for 15 yards here in the second half.
And he's really having trouble with the play calls today. He's not going to get this play off.
He's going to have to hurry. Down to 2, down to 1. He did get it off. Anderson runs right into Rob Burnett.
Well, if there was any doubts about this Baltimore defense for the people across the country, you keep reading about the statistics, a record in a 16-game season, giving up points. They gave up less than 1,000 yards rushing for the whole season, and you can see why. They're so big, so physical. On the edges, they're fast. They got good tacklers. They're coached well. It's just hard to move the football.
Farrat over the middle. McCaffrey avoids a tackle. And avoid that one, though, and he comes up short of first down yardage. Robert Bailey, number 35.
See, you can avoid a tackle. That's okay. Johnny Unitas is looking out there. I wonder what he's thinking he could do against his defense. Well, I know what he's thinking. I could have thrown on him. He probably could. But going back to that, when you dodge a defender going against this Ravens defense, it does. You might dodge one guy, but about 4 other defenders are all rushing to the ball. They're going to run you over.
Jermaine Lewis deep for the kick. Bounces and rolls and will come to a stop at about the 40-yard line. 1:36 to play here in the third quarter. Let's go down to Armin.
Greg, you mentioned Johnny Unitas. I'm here with him now, the great Baltimore legend. Johnny, a Cole David, some warm memories for you, I'm sure, a playoff game, first time in 23 years.
Yeah, playoffs been good for us here. We had 1 in 7, I guess, against Cincinnati, and you know, the same type of situation. The crowd gets behind you.
What do you think of this defense? Does it remind you of the dominant teams, the championship teams of the Colts?
Well, the Colts, when we were playing, always had pretty dominant defensive football teams. And you win with defense, as you see with what we've done all year. The team has done all year, and they played extremely well. They're well talented. They play their own position, and you don't run on them.
All right, thanks very much, Johnny. Greg?
All right, Armin, Tony Banks has now come on as the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. And what do you make of this move by Brian Billick?
You know, I don't know. Is something wrong with Trent Dilfer? I don't know why he would put Tony Banks in the game in a situation like this.
Remember, he did take a terrific shot on a blitz from Billy Jenkins. You look at Tony Banks, who suffered a separated left shoulder last week against the New York Jets, and they're looking at Dilfer on the sideline.
We see the trainer in front of Trent Dilfer. Well, you're right. It could be that, Greg. They're talking. I just saw the trainer point to his jaw. And
Priest, Holmes, Sam Gash in the backfield. Holmes to the 45. Kavika Pittman in on the stop.
You know, we saw that hit to Trent Dilfer by Billy Jenkins. We saw the top of Billy Jenkins' helmet hit Trent Dilfer to the right side of his jaw. And two things. They're checking him out on the sideline. And the other one, I'm sure the NFL office is going to take a look at that hit too.
It just might be a punishable offense. Last 20 seconds of the third quarter. Dilfer up on his feet. And whistles blow. Let's see what Larry Nimmers has to say. He's counting faces.
Baltimore had too many men in the huddle. That's a 5-yard penalty, still third down.
We saw Priest Holmes jogging off the field here, hoping to escape the count. I don't think he made it.
Yeah, I was like what he was doing. He was counting. You know, I don't think they would line up with 12 on the field. That happens every once in a while on defense, but you don't see that happen too often on the offensive side of the football.
We are told that Dilfer suffered a mild concussion, and we have come to the end of the third quarter with the score. Baltimore 21, the Denver Broncos 3, and we'll come back to PSI Net Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
A serial killer has been on the loose for years.
Press have dubbed him the DC Strangler.
Until Mannion takes the case.
Let's find this guy.
The District, all new CBS Saturday. Jag, Tuesdays on CBS. It's all here.
The thrill is back with a vengeance. Toyotathon 01. The blockbuster event returns with great year-end values on Toyota's best. Get 500 cash back from Toyota on dependable Corolla CEs, or save with financing as low as 0.9% APR on Corolla CEs and gas thrifty Echos. Toyotathon 01. It's back at your Toyota dealer now.
There's another internet out there. A whole new experience powered by your cable. Faster than 56K. Faster than DSL. And you could be up and running today with a special offer from Comcast. So call now to get Comcast at home, because this offer is only good for a limited time. Or check out Comcast at home at Comcast.com. Welcome to the cable-powered internet. The internet you always imagined.
Why do I trust Monarchy? I believe in the quality of the parts and service, and the people who stand behind them. My family is too important to trust just anybody.
At Meineke, you'll get a lot, but you won't pay a lot.
No matter where I travel, home is the best destination of all. By trusting my muffler, brakes, and shocks to the pros at Meineke, I know I'll always get there.
At Meineke, you'll get a lot, but you won't pay a lot.
Katie and Kai lead Eyewitness News Team coverage 11:30 tonight.
Back for the start of the fourth quarter. As you look at Trent Dilfer on the sideline, we are told from the sideline that he suffered a little dizzy spell, and that's why Tony Banks has come on to replace him. And Banks will start from the shotgun here. Lewis and Holmes in the backfield on 3rd and 11. He has time, throws out of the backfield. Lewis had it and dropped it. Let's go down to Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, the late word is it's a mild concussion with Trent Dilfer. He's just been working out in front of the trainer staff, going back and forth, zigzagging back and forth, kind of bouncing him around a little bit. He's threw the ball well. He looks very clear-headed, very coherent. Probable return. We'll wait and see. Back to you.
Okay, Armin. Well, Dilfer will have this chance to rest as the Raven defense takes the field. Delta O'Neal at his own 25-yard line. Nice kick by Richardson. O'Neal from his 22. Looking for running room. Cuts outside. And it's down at the 30-yard line. Is the hitting ferocious here? You might say so. The Ravens with the lead. 21-3.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
New TV? Yeah. Watch this.
RCA's experts understand you want the sharpest picture possible. So we developed the RCA digital monitor and receiver. The best picture today and unsurpassed high-definition quality for tomorrow. RCA, changing entertainment again.
Some might see it as a pile of rocks, but it's really
Sweetie, why don't you go get a drink?
Good idea.
All imported hops give Michelob Light a smooth, satisfying taste you won't find in an ordinary beer.
So organic.
It makes me feel so insignificant.
Tell me about Man with Michelob Light.
Beer or Michelob Light?
Oh, there you are.
Ma'am, please don't touch the art.
Tina Sinatra on her father's last days, the woman she wishes he hadn't married, and what he and the mob did for Jack Kennedy. 60 Minutes tonight.
Coming up on the Subway post-game show, Jim, Mike, and Randy. Complete wrap-up of today's game and the latest playoff news. Jill Arrington reports from Philadelphia as the Bucs are getting set to take on the Eagles in their NFC wildcard game. That's coming up on the Subway post-game show. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Farrat to the air. Over the middle. Behind Ed McCaffrey, and that ball may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
No, it was tipped. It was Tony Saragusa. Looked like he got his hand on it again. Let's watch. Gus Farrat does have a low release. There's no question. Saragusa's head, and you could see that shot before. It could be hard to miss that head. I don't know. You know, I think he needs a bigger helmet. What do you think, Greg?
I don't think they come any bigger.
He is filling out that helmet, that is for sure.
2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Over the middle. Incomplete. McCaffrey, the intended receiver again. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Now, you know, things are not tough enough for the Denver Broncos offense. This time, you got the number 98 watching Tony Saragusa going to drop back. Look at him shuffling his feet. If he intercepted a pass, well, that would be something to see.
Get out the calendar.
Yes.
3rd and 10. Denver has 1 first down and 2 rushing yards this half. Farrat steps up, throws incomplete. That one intended for Desmond Clark. And Farrat is on the turf.
Yeah, he took a shot that time.
and is in obvious pain. Let's take a look.
Let's see what happens. He tries to wait to let the receivers get deep down the field.
Looked like Peter Boulware may have hit him down low.
Somebody went low on Gus Frerotte. I could not see who it was. Dwayne Carswell almost makes the catch. And Greg, I think you're right. It's number 58, Peter Boulware. Goes down and hits his left knee. Oh, yeah, they're checking it out. Now, Brian Greasy is the backup. He is absolutely not 100% healthy.
And the number 3 quarterback today is Jarius Jackson.
I would not be surprised if Gus Frerotte is unable to continue playing, that if we saw Jarius Jackson come in the game.
Well, Brian Greasy still with the cover up on the sideline as Frerotte is helped off the field. Go back and take one more look.
Well, Peter Boulware, what a nice move. Good spin and really has no choice. Sometimes defenders, when you go low on purpose, you're going to get fined by the NFL. But he doesn't do that. He's fallen, lunges towards the quarterback, and that was a really good shot. You can see why Gus Ferrotte's left knee is bothering him.
Tom Ruin punts for the 8th time today. This one will bounce toward the sideline and now takes a Denver roll. 14:21 to play after that 37-yard punt. Baltimore leads 21-3.
What's wrong with him?
Lola. They broke up again.
Again? You try calling her?
Hey, calling's not gonna fix this.
Jewelry?
Jewelry's good. Andre, get her that necklace she wanted.
Too expensive.
But if you got a deal, you'd get it?
Yeah. Andre, take a look at this. Just call me Cupid.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
These things are always difficult.
I understand.
Because of the merger, we now have 2 of everything, including 2 CIOs, you and Phil. You know I only need one guy.
I understand.
Yet we still have the hairiest integration project ever. Servers, storage, databases. It needs the right guy.
I understand.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy.
And that's when it hits you. You are so ready for IBM.
What about Phil?
Oh, he volunteered for some job in Paris.
Paris?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nike Shocks. Boeing, thoroughly experienced and explained on Nike.com. American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by Acura, introducing MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
That is Jarius Jackson, the Broncos' 7th-round draft pick, the rookie out of Notre Dame. Loosening up on the sideline, but there's Brian Greasy, still covered up, and we saw Gus Frerotte walking up and down, so we'll see what happens. Trent Dilfer back at quarterback for the Ravens, and we give to Lewis. Lewis across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. And the clock moves, coming up on 14 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. There is Gus Frerotte. And we hear from the Denver sideline that he's all right and look for him again.
Boy, after seeing that shot he took on his knee, I did not think he would be back in the game. You know, Gus Frerotte, a free agent. We talked to him last night. He'd like to, of course, he wants to play well during this playoff drive, but you know, he wants to be a starting quarterback again in the National Football League. And if he wants to start again, that means he's going to have to leave Denver and go someplace else.
Lewis out to the 40-yard line. You know, you were just saying, Phil, about this defense and how people around the country, if they weren't convinced about the toughness of this Ravens defense before, they should be now. Look at how many 3-and-outs the Denver Broncos have had today.
Jamal Lewis, you see the stats, went over 100 yards. Greg, I don't know if I was convinced. Then I came down and you talk to players and you see some of the games on tape and you see it in person. I am definitely convinced. They are big and they are physical. And again, we said they stay in the right positions. They don't have to trick it up to play good defense.
Kadri Ismail with the catch and a first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Denver Broncos, 11 possessions today, and 7 of them they've gone 3 and out.
Yeah, and I think the Broncos coming in the game, they were talking about they'd like to be physical, run the football, and their passing game, the conditions, playing against a good defense, their passing game, it has never gotten untracked and never has even had the look of like they figured out what to do.
Romanowski and the Broncos trying to put the clamps on the offense of the Baltimore Ravens here. And Lewis getting up close to midfield.
And our first thoughts about Jamal Lewis were right too. When we saw him in practice, I go, how could you tackle somebody that looks like that and can run? You know, and well, even the professional football players in defense are going, yeah, it's pretty hard.
And you know, he's running behind a pretty good line, but we haven't yet mentioned number 75, the left tackle, Jonathan Ogden. He only goes 6'8", 340. He was frightening without pads on in practice.
Yeah, he was. You know, Jonathan Ogden, even though, Greg, usually when you're that tall means you can't move that well, but it's 6'8". He has the foot action and moves around like a guy that's about 5'10 or 5'11.
Lewis to midfield. And they continue to move the clock. 11.5 to play. Jamal Lewis has become only the 3rd running back to go for over 100 yards against Denver this year.
Well, you know, I'm got a little smile on my face as I look at Brian Billick. He says, you know, the one team that Tennessee doesn't want to see, that's us. Well, Coach, they're going to see you next week if the score holds up.
3rd and 7. And Dilfer calls timeout with the play clock down to 2 and 10:58 on the game clock. Baltimore burns its first timeout here in the second half. Each team is now down to 2. And while we have a moment, we'll remind you Sunday, January the 28th here on CBS, right after the Super Bowl. Another game is just beginning. Don't miss the premiere. Survivor, the Australian Outback, right after football on Super Bowl Sunday. It is all here on CBS.
You know, Baltimore, you talked about it's been so long since they had a playoff game here, and Brian Billick being the coach, and nobody gave him a lot of credit. If you read some of the stories around the national media and everything, and Brian Billick, his theme was all week kind of condescending to his team. Yeah, we stink. You know, I can't coach, and Mike Shanahan's much better than me, and he just kept going on with this all week. And his players, you know, of course, they caught on to it. Yeah, nobody's giving us the credit, and they kind of used that emotion to drive them forward this week. And you know, that emotion, of course, the fact that they're real good has helped them get ahead 21-3.
Dilfer with time and now running toward the near sideline and goes out of bounds. Lost a couple yards on the play, keeping it. Stops the clock at 10:50. Tanavasa ran him out of bounds. That's considered a sack and the loss of a yard on the play.
Well, the Denver defense, it's held up its end today. It's played pretty well. They were a little unlucky on the one touchdown by Shannon Sharp, but you know, the difference is Denver's offense cannot find a way, has not found a way to move the football.
Fair catch called for, and Terrell Buckley makes the catch back at the 7-yard line. Terrible field position for the Broncos.
Hey!
Sorry. It's just too fun to drive. The all-new Civic Coupe from Honda. Amazing, but true.
Over to 14. Watkins is behind by 1.
Watkins has had a pretty good season so far, finishing second at the RCA Challenge. That looks like that's going a little to the right. And he's found the bunker.
Experience the clarity of high-definition television from RCA.
Okay, sweetie pie, let's see what you got. Oh, come on. You got to do better than that. Come on now. You got to rotate. Come on, Parnevik. Is that all you got? Suck it up.
Not enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the significance of this game here in Baltimore was not lost on that man before kickoff.
23 years. I think I was 2 years old the last time playoff game was here. But we brought it back finally. And now it's on. We ain't come this far to go home. Because we already home. All we got to do is send somebody else home. That's what we're here for.
They have done it so far. 21-3, Baltimore in the lead. Farrat pulls it down, now throws, incomplete, intended for Dwayne Carswell, number 89. Tried to make the one-handed catch, couldn't pull it in.
You know, as we saw, just heard Ray Lewis talking, you know, the guy weighs 255 pounds. He's a middle linebacker. And as we were talking to him on Friday, I said, well, you know, how you feeling? He goes, I feel great. He goes, all year long, I have not had one single injury, hurt, or anything on my body. Now, that is an amazing thing from an NFL player that had nothing bothering him the whole year, especially at middle linebacker.
On 2nd and 10, Farrat with time throws. McCaffrey has it close to the 25-yard line. It'll be enough for the first down, and he took a big hit from Chris McAllister.
Well, that's nothing new for Eddie McCaffrey. He had 100 catches, or 101 catches this year, and 98 of them he took big hits after he caught the football. And watch McAllister. Nice throw by Gus Farrat.
Now let's finish that story on Ray Lewis. After you thought about it, at 6'1", 255, who's going to hurt him?
You know, he is really built. He is made. That body of his was made to play football.
And dropping the ball is Carswell. Nothing wrong with that pass from Gus Farrat.
You know, you go back to that hit of Chris McAllister. The one thing the Ravens corners, McAllister and Dwayne Starks, they are, you know, just like the defense, there's a lot of reasons why they stopped the run. The corners are excellent tacklers, too. Ed McCaffrey attests to that.
McAllister trying to separate McCaffrey from the ball. 2nd and 10. Quick pass to Anderson. Anderson bounces off the tackler and bounced out of bounds at about the 30-yard line after a 7-yard gain.
You see what happens as he makes the hit and makes the tackle. Mike Anderson, there's about 5 Baltimore Raven defenders there. Watch Gus Farrat makes the completion. And what do we say, Greg? You might avoid one tackler. Nice shot there. But look at everybody chasing the football. And Ray Lewis just goes without, do I have to say it? He's going to chase everything down to try to get that hit.
3rd down conversion facing Farrat. Throws over the middle, throws behind McCaffrey, incomplete.
And I think the Broncos are going to go for it here on 4th down. I'm going to tell you, though, you talk about people hustling to the football. Tony Siragusa says a couple of weeks ago they went to the sideline. Ray Lewis was complaining. They said, what are you complaining about? He goes, I can't make a tackle. Everybody's beating me to the football.
4th and 3. Farrat throws a quick pass complete to McCaffrey for a first down across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Well, they're just giving up. The defense is not giving up anything easy, even the short passes. A lot of times in this league, in situations like this, boy, Ray Lewis on another tackle. in those situations, they just give up the first downs, but not the Ravens.
Brian Billick was, doggone it.
Oh, boy.
Rod Smith, no catches this half, just 2 on the day for the Broncos. Farad goes down. Baltimore's 3rd sack today. Michael McCrary gets it for a loss of 10.
McCrary, number 99. He is a high-effort player. And again, if you hold the football, he keeps hustling, keeps coming. Comes around one guy, gets to the inside, gets around the center, Tom Nalen, and gets the sack.
2nd and 20. Over the middle, he overthrew wide open Rod Smith. Now, Rod Smith was breaking into running room, would put it lightly.
Yeah, it was a nice design that time by the Broncos. But again, McCrary on the outside working against Tony Jones. A slap, turns, and then falls into the quarterback.
So now it's a big 3rd and 20.
I'm sorry, Greg, but what a nice combination. Big guys on the inside, Michael McCrary on the outside, Rob Burnett, Peter Bulware, an outside pass rusher.
Farad goes down. Rob Burnett, the 4th Ravens sack of the day.
You know, when you got a good defense, it's when you continue. Every time there's a play made by the defense, this time Rob Burnett from the top, it's a different guy. We've called out almost every single player on the Ravens defense today. It is not completely dominated by just Ray Lewis. It's everybody else finds a place and they make a play.
Bruin loses the football, picks it up and kicks it away. And penalty marker is down. Jermaine Lewis dances out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and let's check the marker.
We leave a man downfield, of course, when the punter's going to drop the football. The Bronco players do not know that, and Brian Billick says send it back.
Ineligible downfield on the kicking team, number 59. That's a 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, the Broncos had a really good 4th down conversion a few minutes ago, and ever since that play, they've been moving backwards.
Boy, next week, Baltimore going to Tennessee. People can say what they want. I think it's pretty exciting when you see football games and where you know when an offense scores, you're seeing something that's, wow, that's big, because that could hold up, for the whole game, and that will be the case next week down in Tennessee.
Well,
touchdowns will be tough to come by.
Talk about proof of the pudding. Denver comes in here averaging more than 30 points a game. They have 3 on the board here today. Line drive kick. Lewis to the 43-yard line, and here's a penalty marker. And that will be a block in the back, we're pretty sure. "46-yard kick and a 5-yard return. And that might have been number 22, Dwayne Starks.
Illegal block in the back. During the return, number 22. 10-yard penalty. 1st down, Baltimore.
Like we said every week, Phil, it's one of those where the players feel that the officials can't see them. Meanwhile, Rob Burnett and the Baltimore defense flexing a little muscle here today.
Look at that. Staples has overnight delivery.
Slow down, let me see.
Wow, it's free.
Hey, look. Guaranteed low prices. Slow down. Staples delivers.
And you can order online.
This traffic's terrible.
Yep. Like this every single day.
That's really weird.
Need office products delivered overnight? Yeah, we've got that.
Call 1-800-STAPLES.
Monty, set coordinates for track 5.
Aye, aye.
Good idea.
Sir, Interstate 13 is now in range.
Affirmative, I-13 it is.
If it were me, I'd take the Egan Expressway.
On my ship, I call the shots.
Large vessel approaching fast.
Let's show them what a VTEC engine can do.
V6 power. Steady. Steady.
All right, people, let's take her home.
It's easy to get carried away. The Accord Coupe from Honda.
Frost brewed Coors Light. Nice choice.
Thanks.
Nothing like some ice cold Rocky Mountain perfection to wet your whistle.
Yeah, you sure know a lot about beer. Come here often?
I haven't missed a game yet.
Really? Whoa. Could this get any better? Wow.
You're spilling your beer.
She's a beer man.
Your beer.
Whoa.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business at guaranteed low prices.
Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, 7 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter in Baltimore. The Ravens with a 21-3 lead and the football. And back to the ground game, Jamal Lewis bulls his way for a yard or two. And once again, we'll remind you that the aerial footage of today's game provided by Southwest Airlines. What a nice shot. What a beautiful stadium, Phil.
Boy, it is, Greg. It's a beautiful stadium. And here we got, late in the game, less than 7 minutes, 21-3. And as you look around, not an empty seat. Nobody is leaving, and well, that says a lot nowadays. Because in sporting events, everybody likes to leave early. But the crowd's such a big part of a game, especially when your team. Especially when your team plays this style. The offense is kind of grinded out. The defense plays on the course of talent, but all the emotion and the crowd noise that can be brought too.
Remember, we were very early in the game. Armin Katayan was talking about how this Baltimore team likes to impose its will. And you, I know, for years have told us that one way to impose your will on the opposition is to run the football and run it well.
Well, it does. It takes patience. And, Greg, what I say earlier, you win the games, and this league is still about, the big guys, whose big guys can beat up the other team's big guys, because that allows all the small guys around them to have success.
Jamal Lewis is hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped for no gain. Harold Hasselbeck making the tackle, and a little more conversation on the far side of the field.
Jamal Lewis is a hard runner, and he's had a terrific day today, but we've seen him run through some big openings created by the offensive line.
Here's Jamal Lewis, 110 yards on the day and 2 touchdowns.
He came in and really is adapted to the NFL way of playing football quickly. Something most rookies can't do is pick up blitzes at the running back position. He played at Tennessee. Peyton Manning was his quarterback. He learned to pick up blitzes down in Tennessee because you better protect Peyton Manning.
We weren't allowed to miss blocks there. O'Neal back at his own 30-yard line. Kyle Richardson's kick is a beauty to the 15-yard line. O'Neal looking for running room, and there it is now. He is down at the 12. What a terrific 50-yard kick and special teams coverage. Billy Davis makes the tackle. I want to remind you, coming up next here on CBS, Vern Lundquist is your guide for an event that champions not just sports or achievement, but truly the triumph of human spirit. Warm up the holiday with gifted athletes from nearly 125 nations at 2000 Sydney Paralympic Games. That's next here on CBS. Jarius Jackson has come on as the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, and there is Gus Frerotte on the sidelines. 4.5 minutes remain, and Jackson comes on to quarterback the Broncos. Jackson with time, throws over the middle. Rod Smith, nice adjustment on the ball, thrown a little bit behind him, and he makes the catch for the first down.
Well, There's Gus Frerotte taken out of the game. I'm sure he's not happy about that. Tough conditions against a tough defense. Hard to put up good numbers.
Darius Jackson throws far side. McCaffrey hit and goes down. Dwayne Starks with another hit on Ed McCaffrey. Jackson came into this game 0 for 1 throwing the football and 1 rush for a -1 yard rushing. He's already seen more action than he has all season long.
Yeah, what a time to see it. Playoff game on the road against the Baltimore Ravens defense.
That's when you know your coach loves you.
He wants you to grow up fast.
Jackson flips it over the middle. His tight end Carswell, and Carswell dragged down at the 41-yard line, and the clock continues to move up on 3:20 to play. Timeout is called on the field and stopping the clock at 3:22. We'll take this opportunity to remind you, for live in-game scoring, the best action photos, and the fastest NFL info on the web, click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. So these Baltimore Ravens get ready to travel to Tennessee, and as you said, it probably should be a war of major proportions there.
Well, it will. You know, Greg, it's an interesting matchup. There's not many teams, I think, that can just come in and physically match up to the power and size of the Baltimore Ravens. There's no question the Tennessee Titans, they almost mirror each other. They play the same style of offense. They play the same way on defense. You know, Tennessee might gamble a little more on defense than Baltimore, but it's going to, I think it'll be an exciting game.
You saw the statistics there. Each team won on the road against the other, and Brian Billick really felt that it was a turning point for his team when it won at Tennessee this season. 3rd and 3. Jackson pump fakes, goes for Rod Smith deep, makes the catch, no, incomplete. 3 Ravens converging on Rod Smith as that ball came down.
Well, this Ravens defense gave up 480-some yards in the passing game last week to the New York Jets, and Brian Billick says, hey, we couldn't have scripted things better than that. Our defense, it caught our attention. We made the turnovers by the Jets. We still win the game, but it just made them alert. They said, okay, Denver thinks they're going to come in and throw the football like the Jets. That's not going to happen.
4th and 3. Quick pass way too high, incomplete, and the ball goes over on downs. The last time the Denver Broncos played a football game and didn't score a touchdown was the season finale last year.
Well, this game kind of mirrors the game they had a couple of weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs. They scored 1 touchdown, but it was a special teams touchdown. So on the road against physically tough defenses, Denver's offense really struggled late in the year.
Darius Jackson, baptism by fire. Ray Lewis, another day at the office.
You hear the crowd roaring. They just put up on the sign, who is the only NFL team to beat Tennessee down at their place? And I guess we all know the answer. That would be Baltimore.
Priest Holmes to the 40.
You know, this was a big stepping stone for Trent Dilfer. This is the guy that got pushed out of Tampa Bay, and he told us to. He goes, look, I knew it was time to leave. It was not a match. My style playing the way they want to play down there. But what I find interesting, he's come to Baltimore and they're playing basically the same style. As Brian Billick would say, we are playing Tony Dungy football. But Trent Dilfer really performed well today, didn't make mistakes, made good decisions.
Holmes again to about the 36-yard line. More important to Brian Billick, he played their kind of football, the kind of football that they wanted to play, and dictated the tempo of this game to the Broncos. Denver takes its 3rd and final timeout, and Mike Shanahan probably feeling very, very helpless on the sideline.
Well, I think, Greg, just to finish up about Trent Dilfer, too, he says, you know, since I've been in the National Football League. I've never been able to play the type of quarterback that I want to be in. And I know what he wants to do. He wants to, that's one of the reasons why he came to Baltimore. Brian Billick, known at Minnesota as a guy that can coach quarterbacks, make them better, make them be guys that can throw it down the field and be very productive. And that's why he came here. He wants to be in an offense that throws it about 30 to 35 times a game. And, you know, that could happen. That could happen next year as they make the next step forward in their offensive philosophy.
Well, what a team full of characters Brian Billick has assembled here. He and Ozzie Newsome.
Go ahead. You hear the crowd?
Yeah, I know. They're saying, we love Phil.
Well, go ahead and join them, Greg. You know, you can cheer with them.
No, they don't work with you like we do. Priest Holmes buried back at the 40-yard line. Keith Traylor and Eric Brown. How much did you have to pay those guys? There's Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Denver Broncos, on the sideline.
Nothing. You know I got no money.
Pat Bowlen, we saw him down on the field, and he said he was wearing his lucky tie. About time to get that tie clean, Mr. Bowlen. 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
You're not putting your card number in there.
That's not my number.
That's not your number.
That's not my number.
Where's your number?
It's a secret.
I'm your husband. Well, why's your number secret from me?
This is my number. That is not my number. That number is a random number, so nobody sees my number, and my number stays my number.
Oh.
We're back. Bill, your whole business is going wireless. Can you retool to keep up?
It's
well,
Bill.
Bob, we have an 18-month infrastructure plan. My guess, you've got 6 months tops. Can you do it? Well, we're evaluating several options. Can you say right here, right now, that you'll be wireless ready in 6 months?
Uh-oh. Don't do it, Bill. Remain calm.
Well, if we need to do that, we can do that. There you go. The street's going to hold you to that, Bill.
And that's when it hits you. You are so ready for IBM.
Oh, Bill.
Nice. Hold that. When you coach the junior gymnastics team, you do most of the exercise. So muscle aches are out of the question. There you go. That's why I take Advil every time. It's strong enough to get the job done. This is a very safe sport, as long as I can keep up. So I trust Advil. Absolutely nothing's been proven stronger in even tough pain. These kids depend on me, and I depend on Advil.
Advil, stronger than pain.
After the Super Bowl, 16 new castaways will have to build their own shelter and find their own food. But to survive the Australian outback, these survivors will need a little advice.
Snake doesn't taste like chicken. Tastes like snake.
Survivor, Australian Outback begins CBS January 28th.
Ozzie Newsome, Director of Player Personnel for the Baltimore Ravens, along with the owner, Art Modell, celebrating the Ravens' first playoff game of victory. Karan Coleman is deep for the punt from Richardson. He's going to drive this one into the end zone. 1:51 to play here in the fourth quarter, and celebrations abound on this Baltimore sideline. Shannon Sharp, 3 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown today. Being congratulated by his coach Brian Billick, who's feeling some of the emotions here in Baltimore.
Well, he's got to be, Greg. You know, to be a head coach in a franchise, your second year, they get a home playoff game and you win it. It's a tremendous emotional high. You can see it from Art Modell, Ozzie Newsome, all the work.
Jarius Jackson going to throw downfield for Rod Smith. It's incomplete. He was double covered. Chris McAllister bats the ball away. We saw Shannon Sharp there. You know, an emotional game for him, going up against a team with which he had spent such a tremendous amount of time and had a great career in Denver with the Broncos.
You know, absolutely. He knew his time was up in Denver when you become a free agent in your last year, and they don't talk to you about re-signing you. the handwriting's on the wall. But he said even though that went by, and I was about ready to sign with Baltimore, I kept going, maybe Denver will come in late and make me an offer. It didn't happen. It was time to move on, and he's done a good job down here in Baltimore.
Jackson throws this side. McCaffrey with the catch across the 30 to about the 32-yard line, and the clock continues to move, coming up on a minute and a half to play.
Now, you know, it did take a while for Shannon Sharp to get into this offense. Brian Billick is a offensive coach or coordinator that likes to throw the football to the wide receivers. And Shannon Sharp, about mid-season, finally started catching some passes.
Whistle blows down on the field.
In fact, go ahead. You asked Shannon Sharp who was covering.
We'll review the ruling on the field.
Now, the replay is going to take a look at that last catch by Ed McCaffrey. But yeah, when he caught fire in mid-season, something happened. We said, well, who did the best job of covering you? And he said, Tony and Brian did, meaning Tony Banks and Brian Billick. He said, Brian didn't call the plays and Tony didn't throw me the ball.
Yeah, that's something else. But they have learned to work him in the offense more and more as the years gone on. And I think in the playoffs, especially in these type of games in this style, let's see if we can see the play and it's a catch.
Good job by Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think Ed McCaffrey was a little surprised he caught it. His first reaction. I didn't think it was that close.
Well, the celebration has begun here in Baltimore. And for the Broncos, a long ride home.
But I'm just going to say, Greg, in this atmosphere, when you got teams that can play defense, and you know it could be low scoring, tough to move the football, a tight end is really important to your offense, and especially to a quarterback. It really is like a relief valve. I mean, look, he's the closest guy to you usually. He's over the middle, big target, working against linebackers. Let's watch the catch.
McCaffrey with his hands under the football.
I don't see anything to even think that this is not a completion. Watch.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Meanwhile, Larry Nemmers continues to look at it from a couple of different angles. And, you know, we were speculating with Shannon Sharp about this face-off with Bill Romanowski and just how much talking is going to be done. And, of course, Bill Romanowski does his fair share of talking on the field as well. What did Shannon say? I'm the CEO of trash talking. Romo's only a vice president.
Yeah, that's right. They, of course, practice against each other so many times.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The catch was good. The ball did not hit the ground. First down, Denver.
Ed McCaffrey, 7 catches for 60 yards now on the day. There's Bill Romanowski.
And they've practiced against each other for so many years in Denver, and Shannon Sharp was saying they always used to have this argument. Bill Romanowski says, I can cover you one-on-one. Shannon says, there is no way. We didn't really get a chance to see that today. I never saw the two of them matched up man-to-man once.
Jackson throws far side, incomplete. Intended for number 88, Desmond Clark. We'll take this opportunity to remind you, coming up on the Subway postgame show, join Jim, Mike, and Randy for a wrap-up of this game. In the latest playoff news, Jill Arrington reports from Philadelphia as the Bucs get set to take on the Eagles in their NFC wildcard game. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show. And by the way, a tough ending to the season for Brian Greasy, who will undergo shoulder surgery.
Yeah, I'm so glad he didn't get in the game today. We talked to him last night, and, it didn't sound good when he was just talking about his shoulder. I know his father's sitting at home glad he didn't get in this game either.
Jackson goes down at the 22. There's Brian Greasy, who had right shoulder surgery in January. He tore cartilage against Oakland on the 17th. He missed a total of 6 games this season. It has been rough for him.
And he got in the game last week and got hurt by Brinson Buckner, I think the 5th play of the game, and just not well enough to play this week.
Jackson throws this side. It is complete across the 35 to the 37-yard line. And the clock continues to move. 20 seconds.
That was Calvin Hill talking to Art Modell.
4th and 5. Jackson this side. McCaffrey incomplete. Stops the clock with 8 seconds left. And the ball will go over on downs. Chris McAllister, who has been in Ed McCaffrey's face all season long, all day long. And there's Tony Siragusa adding his 2 cents worth on the sideline. What a physical war out here this afternoon. Congratulations on the sidelines as the Ravens defense comes off. There is the Gatorade. It looks primed. You know what? It's probably frozen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't think the Ravens will do the Gatorade thing. Well, let me. Uh-oh, I talked too soon. I see Tony Siragusa.
And Rob Burnett.
Rob Burnett. Watch out here. Oh, no.
Tony.
Look. Brian Billick says, nope. I just saw Brian Billick turn around and say, don't even think about it.
I don't think he's got a choice in the matter.
Oh, he took it like, well, he took it. Didn't want to. That's right.
That play ends it. Brian Billick and the Baltimore Ravens with a playoff victory over Mike Shanahan and the Denver Broncos. And from start to finish, the Baltimore defense dominated. Once again, our final score, Baltimore 21 and Denver 3. Coming up next on CBS, stay tuned for a triumph in human spirit, the 2000 Sydney Paralympics. But first, we'll be sending you to our NFL on CBS studios for the Subway postgame show right after these messages. For Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from Baltimore. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 35. Brian Billick and the Ravens are winners in the playoff game. Happy New Year, everyone.
You remember Jared from Subway? Turns out he's inspired a lot of people.
He's still looking good. He'll show you the way. His name is Jared, and he'll lead you to Subway. That's where it goes, along with the rest. For 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less.
What an inspiration. Subway. Eat fresh.
Subway Eat Fresh presents Fresh Starts, a tribute to this year's postseason surprises. Coach of the Year candidate Jim Haslett rejuvenated the Saints to a 10-6 record and the NFC West title. Rod Woodson and the Ravens defense set an NFL record for fewest points allowed in a season. The Eagles made their run to the playoffs behind the feet of electrifying quarterback Donovan McNabb.
Losing your hair? It's a thing in my family. Suddenly I'm 30. I'm seeing hair here, hair there. I'm bumming. What did I expect? Thanks, Dad. So a year ago, I broke with tradition. Started using Rogaine.
Rogaine. It's the only one clinically proven to work directly on the scalp to help stop hair loss.
Look, nothing here, nothing here. It's all here. Rogaine broke the family curse.
Rogaine. Stronger than heredity.
Congratulations to Ray Romano on his Golden Globe nomination. Don't miss Raymond, CBS Monday.
During Ford's year-end event, cars that protect you from head to toe won't cost an arm and a leg. Financing as low as 0.9 or cash back up to $1,500. But hurry, Ford's year-end event ends soon. See your local Ford dealer today. During Ford's year-end event, America's favorite trucks have even greater appeal. Financing as low as 0.9 or cash back up to $2,000. But hurry, Ford's year-end event ends soon. See your local Ford dealer today.
Yes? I'm here for your DLJ Direct upgrade. Upgrade? Where's your computer, please?
That's over there.
You see, DLJ Direct is tapping into the strength of Credit Suisse First Boston to form CSFB Direct. Now you can invest online with more award-winning research, more global resources, and more IPOs.
Impressive. Will this take long?
Not at all. Enjoy the power, sir.
Introducing CSFB Direct, coming online January 15th.
Katie and Kai lead Eyewitness News Team coverage 11:30 tonight.
Great a fresh-made sandwich can taste. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, the AFC divisional playoffs are all set now. Jim Nantz with you on the Subway postgame show here on CBS. Mike Ditka and Randy Cross are here to join me. And, well, we now know that it'll be Miami at Oakland on Saturday, and Baltimore goes back to Tennessee, where it won earlier this season after its victory today, convincing when it was over the Broncos.
Well, it was convincing because of the defense. The defense was totally dominant, and then field position. Everybody forgets about field position. Field position is what caused this game to go the way it went. Denver operated from their end of the field way too deep all the time, and I tell you, Baltimore did a good job. Special teams, defense, and they were effective enough running the football to win the football game.
You know, neither one of us, we've been talking about Baltimore all year, neither one of us picked them to win the game, but really it came down to the Baltimore defense because Baltimore just manhandled that Denver offensive line. I'm like Phil Simms. I came into this game pretty skeptical about how great this defense was. This is an excellent defense and a very well-coached football team and very disciplined.
This is the first time in the Broncos' playoff history, which is a span of 28 games, that the Broncos failed to score a touchdown in a playoff game, plus the first time this season the Broncos failed to score a touchdown. Trent Dilfer, well, he got quite a break on this touchdown.
Well, he got a big break because, I mean, this is what football's all about. Sometimes you can control this, you can't. Tip up, but the guy who makes the play, Shannon Sharp, outstanding play, and he has enough presence to catch the ball down his highlight and outruns everybody, and he's an old tight end. That's pretty good stuff right there.
How about the play where Dilfer got taken out of the game?
Well, Billy Jenkins makes, he comes with a safety blitz, and I believe this will be fine. He's going to look at pretty carefully. You go helmet to chin. That's not very good, but they checked his chin. He came back in the game. He's a tough guy, you know. He's one of the tough guys. He wants to play. He wants to prove that he's the leader of that offense.
And really, he got his chance as the Ravens quarterback in the first meeting this year against Tennessee when Banks was taken out after throwing yet another interception. Now, what about Jamal Lewis's play on the offensive end for the Ravens, Randy?
Remember the pregame show, I said Denver's got to blitz to stop Jamal Lewis at all costs. Well, when he wasn't running the ball here, there's only reception. What's he do? He sets even more of a tone, breaking tackles and running through the Denver defense. They tried to blitz him. They tried to stop him. They filled the gaps. When they filled the gaps, he said, see you later, just bounced off him. Here, iced the game and put him up 21-3 on that run. This rookie from Tennessee has carried this football team on his shoulders the last 12 weeks.
30 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Lewis today. In fact, Jamal Lewis, that is, and Ray Lewis visited with our Armin Katayan just a moment ago.
Ray, before a national audience, an opportunity to show that really the nation just how good this defense is, and you did it.
Yeah, I mean, we came out, you know, and Coach Billy walked in there, and the first thing he said when we walked in there, you know, the things they was talking about was, you know, they were going to try to be physical with us. And that's our game. And we came out, we had a great game today. I mean, it was just balls out. Everybody just did what they were supposed to do today.
Speaking of physical, Jamal Lewis, great game for you. Tell us about it.
It was just, you know, our line and wide receivers blocking downfield good, and we just took control of the line of scrimmage and just kept moving the ball downfield.
Tell me a little bit about that last touchdown run. You just burst through the line of scrimmage.
Well, I just wanted to power the ball up in there. Coach told me just hit it hard and just keep on moving.
All right, guys, great job, Ray.
Thank you.
All right, Armin Katayan, thank you very much. We have a whole lot more on the playoff talk coming your way here on the Subway postgame show, including Jill Arrington live from the Vet in Philadelphia as the Eagles will be hosting the Tampa Bay Bucks at a 4:15 Eastern kick. And there are the Ravens celebrating in their locker room. They advance to the divisional round and will take on Tennessee in Nashville next Sunday.
You remember Jared from Subway? Turns out he's inspired a lot of people.
Still looking good. He'll show you the way. His name is Jared, and he'll lead you to Subway. That's where it goes, along with the rest. For 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less.
What an inspiration. Subway. Eat fresh.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that dog in the window? I do hope that dog.
If you lost it, broke it, ate it cheap, or just can't find it anywhere else, eBay.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The Few. the proud, the Marines.
What if you cause a serious accident? How much coverage should you have? Do you want lower premiums or a smaller deductible? What about rental car reimbursement? Some people say they can put a policy together in 15 minutes. I've never thought doing it fast was as important as getting it right. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
This is the island of Pulau Tiga, the place where Survivor began.
Call that an island? That's not an island. This is an island.
On Sunday, January 28th, CBS is stranding 16 new castaways in the Australian outback, the most hostile environment on the planet. They'll have to build shelter, find food, and survive each other. Survivor, Australian Outback. The adventure of a lifetime begins right after the Super Bowl on CBS.
Can you survive the wait?
The Subway post-game show is sponsored by Subway, showing the world how great a fresh-made sandwich can taste. Subway, eat fresh.
Jim Nance with you on the Subway post-game show on CBS. Happy New Year. 8 hours, 22 minutes to go until the new year. We're anxious to get there, aren't we? Coming up next on CBS, the CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games. Vern Lundquist is your guide for an event that champions not just sports or achievement, but truly the triumph of human spirit. That's coming up next here on CBS. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, Touched by an Angel, and the CBS Sunday movie, Timepiece. All right, one more piece to the puzzle in this wild card weekend. That's Tampa Bay at Philadelphia, 4:15 Eastern kick. And let's go out to the Vet in Philadelphia live.